there, welcome to my channel and welcome to another art class. This one is going to be about Van Gogh. As usual, I'll start with an introduction, I will share some of his paintings, I'll also show a selection of drawings because his drawings are going to be the focus of this class. Then I present you the exercises and I finish with a demo. So if you're interested in Van Gogh and learning more about how to draw like him, stay tuned until the end. Let's get started. Van Gogh was born in 1853 in the Netherlands and he died in 1819 in France. He didn't start as a painter, he worked as an art dealer, school teacher, and even as a missionary before deciding to pursue art at the age of 27. He had a short career that only lasted for 10 years, but he was very prolific during those years. He produced more than 2,000 artworks. And even though he was an art worker and his work is beautiful, as we know, he wasn't famous while he was alive and he barely sold his paintings during his lifetime. His style was characterized, as we know, by bold colors, strong brush strokes and emotional intensity, as we're going to see next in the paintings that I'm going to show you. The Starry Night is one of Van Gogh's most famous paintings, created in 1889 while he was staying at the Saint-Rémy Asylum. It shows a swirling night sky filled with movement and emotion, painted from memory rather than from direct observation. The bold colors and dramatic brushstrokes express Van Gogh's inner world more than the actual landscape. So we can see his inner turmoil in these lines and movement of the sky. The next painting is called Sunflowers and is part of the Sunflower series that was created between 1888 and 1889 and is among his most beloved works. He painted them to decorate the room of his friend Paul Gauguin using vibrant yellows to explore the possibilities of a single color. The flowers at different stages of life symbolize both vitality and impermanence. The last painting is called The Bedroom and was painted by Van Gogh in 1888 to depict his room in the Yellow House in Arles. The simple furniture and bold, flat colors were meant to create a sense of calm and stability. The slightly distorted perspective gives the scene a dreamlike and intimate feeling. Now some curiosities about Van Gogh. He was mostly self-taught. Van Gogh studied some classical techniques, but the majority of his style was developed through constant practice, but going out in the fields, drawing what was around him, his room, the objects that he had. He experimented a lot and he also copied some of masters that he admired. He wrote over 800 letters. His letters, especially the ones that he wrote to his brother Theo, are one of the most detailed accounts we have of his thoughts, feelings and artistic practice. The ear incident. As we know, he did cut his ear during a mental health crisis, but not the whole ear and not exactly the way it's depicted in movies. This event is still very debated by historians. Though he was largely unrecognized during his lifetime, as I mentioned before, his emotional, expressive style helped shape the foundations of modern art. Today, his paintings are among the most admired and most valuable in the world. They keep inspiring countless artists, they attract millions of museum visitors, and his paintings keep reminding us that personal struggle does not diminish creative brilliance. Now let's have a look at a selection of his drawings. Van Gogh's drawings reveal the same intensity and energy found in his paintings, but through the power of line alone. He used bold rhythmic strokes, strong contours and expressive cross-hatching to create depth and movement. His subjects ranged from humble peasants and everyday objects to landscapes filled with life. Even in black and white, his drawings feel emotional and dynamic, showing his fascination with structure, gesture and the natural world. They capture his unique ability to turn simple scenes into powerful living images. And now we are going to analyze one specific drawing in more detail. This drawing showcases several hallmark qualities of Van Gogh's mature style, even though it's rendered only with ink and brush. The scene is composed of trees and flowing ground, built entirely from dynamic, rhythmic strokes that give the landscape a sense of movement and life. Instead of relying on smooth shading, Van Gogh uses short, directional lines and clusters of marks to create texture, form, and depth. The trees are shaped through curving, swirling contours, echoing the same expressive energy seen in his later paintings. The foreground features more open, sweeping strokes, suggesting uneven ground and shifting light. There is very little empty space. The entire surface is activated with marks, which creates a vibrating, almost animated effect. Overall, the drawing shows Van Gogh's ability to capture nature's motion and emotional intensity using minimal tools. It reflects his belief that line alone could express the vitality of the world around him. And now let's talk about the exercises. The first one is about making mark making and patterns. It will take about 6 minutes. The idea is to draw 6 small squares and fill them with different types of mark making to create different patterns. This is kind of a warm-up to the next exercises. The second one is to make thumbnail sketches. So you can start by drawing a small rectangle and fill them with a sketch of one of Van Gogh's drawings. I'm going to share with you the drawings that we will take as inspiration, and each drawing will take about 4 minutes. So it's a very quick sketch, small scale. The last drawing is a more developed drawing of a landscape. The idea is to draw from a photograph that I'm going to share with you, or you can go outside and draw from a real-life landscape. Feel free to do it, or feel free to draw from a photograph that you have taken. I suggest an A5 size or A4 size, depending how big you want to work. And the idea is to apply what we have practiced in the previous exercises, the mark making, the patterns, but this time we won't be looking at the drawing that already has the marks that create the trees or the ground. So this one is going to be a little bit more challenging, but I think you will have all the tools you need to create a great drawing. So for the first exercise, we start by drawing 6 squares, and then we are going to fill them with different types of mark making, creating different patterns. And now we are going to start working on our cross hatching. Van Gogh uses curved lines to draw the trees, so it's important to practice that as well. And now we are going to mix different types of marks. We have a soft shadow mixed with lines and cross-hatching. And our first exercise is concluded. We experimented with different types of mark making and cross-hatching, and now we're ready for the second exercise. I'm going to use these frames to create the rectangles. I made these frames using cardboard, but you can draw the rectangles freehand or you can use a ruler as well. The 3 rectangles are made. Now we are going to make quick sketches based on Van Gogh's drawings. Remember that you have 4 minutes to complete each drawing, so it's a very quick sketch. And we have our 3 thumbnails completed. Okay, so for the third exercise, I selected this image that I found on Splash website. I will leave the link in the description. I think it's an interesting image because it has several elements in different scales with different textures. We have a big tree, we have some bushes that are near to us, and then we have the sea and some mountains far away. So I think it's a good image for this exercise. In terms of materials, I'm going to use this bamboo stick. It has these 2 sides, but if you don't have this type of material, you can use a graphite pencil or a pen. of your choice. Or you can also use this type of pen. I'm going to use black Indian ink. I will draw on my A5 sketchbook, but if you want to go bigger, feel free to do it. I'm going to start by drawing a frame. I'm going to draw just a few lines to add each element in its own place and also get the right dimensions inside of the frame. Okay, so this quick sketch is made. Now I know where the tree is and the other elements inside of the frame. Now let's start filling with the mark making that we learned in the previous exercises. Remember to use different types of lines, these curved lines or straight lines and these small dots to create a more dynamic drawing. Look at the tones as well. You can make clusters of marks, use cross hatching to make darker areas. So this tree is done. Pay attention how I used the lines in different directions, different types of lines, curved lines, dots. I also added these small curved lines in this part of the tree so you can see that is a round form. Here I'm going to use a different pattern like small ellipses and small dashes to create a different texture. If you're using a similar material, you can use the stick or the pen even when it has almost no ink, so it creates this effect more faded, more gray instead of pure black. Make smaller marks to represent what is more far away on the background, like this mountain. So it contrasts with what is closer to the viewer, because what is closer to the viewer has bolder marks, darker and bigger. As you can see, I have almost no ink on the stick, but I still make these marks. You can do this so the stick has less ink when you start making the marks. And I'm going to make the last adjustments, adjust some tones, apply a little bit more black on certain areas, and add some details like small dots. As you can see, I used a wide variety of marks. I applied more ink in certain areas. In this part of the sea, it is more faded. I also added some details in the clouds, and I used lines in different directions as well, so it's a more rich drawing. And the class has come to an end. I hope that you had enjoyed it. If so, let me know in the comments how you felt making these drawings, or if you discovered something new about Van Gogh. Leave a like as well, and of course, if you know people, friends, family that want to learn more about drawing, that are interested in Van Gogh, share this video with them so it reaches more people. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, feel free to do it so you don't miss videos like this and other videos related with drawing. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.